if you want to support this channel and get cool anime merch at the same time, like the Dragon Sin of Wrath Meliodas, Feel the Wrath of My Dragon, and the Lion Sin of Pride Escanor, Praise the Sun. Check out our online store, link in the description. What is up, everybody? It's Animac here for Anime Uproar, and in this video we will be talking about the Master of the Sun himself, the Lion Sin of Pride, Escanor. We got a really great response from you guys on our video about the two sides of Meliodas. So in this video, we will be talking about the two drastically different sides of Escanor. The nervous and easily frightened human who is by far the weakest of the 7 deadly sins at night, versus the massive juggernaut of manliness who becomes the strongest out of all the 7 deadly sins at high noon each day. Escanor is particularly interesting because both his physical appearance and his personality change drastically depending on the time of day, which makes for a clear split in his character, and yet in the end both sides are clearly connected and part of one complete person. And I find this to be extremely interesting, which is why I'm excited to make this video. If you enjoyed the 7 Deadly Sins content on this channel, be sure to leave a like to let me know. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. And if you have some 7 Deadly Sins fan art that you would like to see featured in a future video, or you just want to give us ideas for future videos, check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Anime Uproar. Now, this video does contain manga spoilers because as of the making of this video, Escanor has just barely been introduced in the anime. And so in order to give you the full picture about his character, I need to go into the material from the manga. If you don't want any spoilers, you have been warned. But if you are caught up to the manga or you just don't care about spoilers, then let's get into it. Escanor is the last member of the 7 Deadly Sins that we are introduced to, and we don't officially meet him until the second half of the second season of the anime, although we do see a very brief glimpse of him in the final episode of the Signs of a Holy War OVA. Escanor is a 40-year-old human, and he has a very unique power which first manifested in his youth. At nighttime, Escanor is by far the weakest of the 7 deadly sins. He is even weaker than the average human. And in terms of his personality, nighttime Escanor is quiet, bashful, and polite. However, as the sun begins to rise each day, Escanor's power grows immensely every hour until it reaches its maximum height at noon each day. As his power grows, his body also grows. He becomes incredibly tall and muscular until he reaches his peak at high noon, at which point he towers over regular people both in terms of stature and in terms of power. Because Escanor gets his power from the sun, he is also known as the Master of the Sun. And that is why you will most likely see the phrase "Praise the Sun" all over the comment section to this video. At noon each day, Escanor's power is at its highest for 1 minute, a state known as the One. And at this point, Merlin states that Escanor is easily the strongest out of all the 7 deadly sins, as he becomes an invincible incarnation of power. Along with his physical appearance, Escanor's personality changes drastically as noon approaches. He goes from a meek and nervous person to an increasingly arrogant, grandiose, and prideful machine of destruction, which explains why Escanor is the Sin of Pride. Just as an example, after he is able to defeat Meliodas in assault mode, Diane says that Escanor is the strongest man and that they can all count on him. Escanor is shocked that she would say something so foolishly obvious. Escanor has also been known to tell his opponents to apologize for being born into the same world as him. The name of Escanor's sacred treasure is the Divine Axe Rita, a massive and insanely heavy battle axe. In his daytime form, Escanor gives off a great amount of heat, which can actually hurt the people who are in his vicinity. But his sacred treasure allows him to gather all of that excess energy inside the axe and then release it when the time is right. Escanor's power level has been measured at as low as 15 in his nighttime form and as high as 114,000, which is just insane in his daytime mode. Because his power level fluctuates so much throughout the day, it is virtually impossible to measure the true extent of Escanor's power. And because of how immense his power becomes, Escanor still struggles to control it, and he is sometimes known to lose control, which he then later regrets. Like many characters in the 7 Deadly Sins, Escanor has a very interesting backstory that really shaped him as a character. He was born as a prince of a Britannian kingdom called Castellio. Escanor had an older brother who would often mistreat him, but then, one day, Escanor's unique power awoke inside of him and he broke his older brother's arm by accident. After this incident, and because of the appearance of his mysterious power, the people of the Castellio kingdom began to look at Escanor as some kind of freak. His own parents disowned him, and after the kingdom's soldiers tried to kill him for being a dangerous monster, he was barely able to escape with his life by hiding in a barrel and drifting off to sea inside of it. As his power continued to develop, Escanor was feared and looked at as a monster everywhere he went. And even when he tried to show others that he was a good person, they still feared him and rejected him. All of this took a great toll on Escanor, and he felt ostracized by everyone. The one person who did not see Escanor as a dangerous monster was Merlin, and when he met her, Escanor instantly fell in love with Merlin, the one person who was not afraid of him but actually interested in his unique power. In what is a huge twist of irony, the proud and supremely confident Escanor is often shy in front of Merlin because of his feelings for her. You could even say that he is insecure about Merlin because he doesn't know if she will ever feel the same way about him as he does about her. And in the manga, he was even shown to be jealous of Merlin's relationship with Arthur Pendragon. Escanor enjoys writing poetry, including special poems for Merlin, but he is insecure about those as well, and he has been shown to worry about whether his poems are worthy of Merlin actually hearing them. Escanor's special power is called Sunshine. We later learned that sunshine was a blessing or grace created by the supreme deity, the ruler of the goddess clan, and bestowed upon Mael, one of the 4 archangels. In fact, Mael was believed to be the strongest out of the 4 archangels, but he was allegedly killed by Estarossa 3,000 years ago. After Mael's death, Sunshine somehow passed on to Escanor, but at this time we don't actually know how or why that happened. What makes Escanor so interesting is the stark duality of his personality, the huge contrast between the 2 sides of his character. On the one hand, he is an incredibly powerful pinnacle of manliness, and he is so proud and confident that you can't help but laugh at how he looks down on his opponents. In that sense, Escanor kind of reminds me of Kamina from Gurren Lagann, and if you know me, then you know that Kamina is my favorite anime character of all time. So in that sense, I definitely have a special place in my heart for Escanor. But on the other hand, despite his incredible power, Escanor had an extremely traumatic childhood. Imagine being ostracized and cast out by everyone you know because of something that you have no control over. Imagine being disowned by your own parents and almost killed as a child just because a strange power manifested inside you through no fault of your own. That is exactly the type of backstory that would make someone the opposite of confident. Something like that would make a person feel insecure, and it would leave them with major abandonment issues, and we can see this conflict raging within Escanor. Whether it is nighttime or daytime, Escanor's feelings for Merlin betray his inner insecurities. Even as he mocks his enemies for daring to be born into the same world as him, Escanor is clearly in love with Merlin. He has great respect for her, and he does not consider himself to be superior to her, even at the height of his power. Because Merlin is one of the very few people who treated Escanor with kindness when everyone else saw him as a monster, Escanor is very cautious not to screw up his relationship with Merlin because he doesn't want to lose her. And that is why he is known to act with shyness and insecurity around her. Even though he is the sin of pride, Escanor doesn't have the confidence to admit his true feelings to Merlin, probably because he is afraid that she will never feel the same way about him. And he doesn't want Merlin to push him away after she learns about his true feelings, so he is torn between opening up to Merlin and keeping his feelings hidden. And this is the funny thing about Escanor. Even though during the daytime he is such an over-the-top, larger-than-life, supremely confident and tremendously powerful warrior, he is still only human, and we can all relate to his fears and insecurities. Escanor considers his unique power to be a curse which isolated him from his fellow humans, made him a freak and a monster in the eyes of everyone he knew, even his own parents. Even though he uses this curse to great effect in battle, Escanor is still haunted by his difficult past, and he is very careful around people like Merlin because he doesn't want the few people who actually don't consider him a monster to turn their back on him. On the one hand, Escanor is the powerful and totally badass lion sin of pride, but on the other, he is just a human being who wants to be accepted and loved by others, which is something that he never even experienced until he met Merlin and the other sins. Escanor is clearly not a one-dimensional character. He is a nuanced and multi-dimensional character like so many other characters in the 7 Deadly Sins, which is one of the biggest reasons why I love this series. As the manga goes on, I have a feeling that we are going to see Escanor and Merlin's relationship develop, so I am looking forward to that. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you like Escanor as a character? And do you think that he will eventually succeed in winning over Merlin's heart? Also, how many praise the sun comments are we going to get on this video? Let's find out. If you enjoy this type of content, be sure to leave a like to let me know. If you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time a new video is out. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at AnimeUproar for daily anime content. As always, thank you all so much for watching, I really appreciate it, and until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys!